Watch and Learners. This is Arthur,
This is Xenia.
and we're back. And we're back with more. And we're back with something different for you today. We're gonna discuss actually two movies,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna argue. Yeah,
I'm looking
sort
forward
of.
to it.
Yeah, I mean, we've never done this before. Usually we both like the movie and we sort of just express our opinions and what we liked in the movie, but today is different. As usual, disclaimers. I have two of them. Again, for the spoilers for two movies, yeah. The first one is going to be Heretic. I think we could start with that one.
Okay.
And leave the best for the last. The second one is going to be Anora.
Mm-hmm.
And the second disclaimer is connected with Anora because it's a highly 18 plus movie. I think so. Maybe we will not touch this topics, but maybe we will. So this pod is exclusively for grown-ups.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Agreed. So let's just start. Yeah.
Yes, I want to ask you, did you have any, before you went to watch Heretic, did you have any information about it? Did you know anything? Did you have any expectations? What were you going to see?
I had one thing in my head that it has, I mean, the movie has Hugh Grant. And I like Hugh Grant. He's a nice dude, but I think I like him more as just as a person. Like, interviews with him are fun, his stories and all of that kind of stuff, his experience. At the same time, I haven't watched much with him. To be honest, only some recent movies, and most of them are not actually very good. The only one that I can remember, which I actually liked, was The Gentleman by Guy Ritchie, and I really liked him
Okay.
there. He's such a weasel in that movie. But
Yeah.
yeah, most of them they were like not very serious, like Paddington 2 or I don't know, or Dungeons and Dragons movie or something like this. He doesn't have very serious roles.
Or something about
Any
love, drama, stuff like that. Notting Hill,
not
Bridget
much.
Jones.
I never watched that movie, to be honest. I think at some point I think that I tried to read that book with one of the students like trillions of years ago, but I didn't like it, and
Okay.
that thing didn't last long. So, but again, I like him. I have a very good impression of him anyway, and I was like, okay, we should go. Hugh Grant, just three actors basically. I like movies with not a lot of actors because for me it's a sign that people who were doing the movie had they bet on the story, yeah, and that it's a thriller and somehow connected with like religion, mind games. So yeah, I did have pretty high expectations, and we did go to the cinema also. I mean, I paid money, which also kind of, you expect a little bit more because you pay.
Yeah,
It was official in Russia, you know.
I get it.
So yeah, I mean, just answering your question.
Yeah, yeah. It was different for me because I watched it much later, and I heard your opinion before I watched it, and I had another opinion that was opposite yours, and I was interested already. I was like expecting something. I had to form some opinion, right? And another thing I was expecting is I have this YouTuber I watch, and he's a scientist who's talking about just popularizing science, I guess, and telling stuff. And he mentioned this movie. There was a review that he published. I'm gonna send you later if you're interested, which got me interested. And I pretty much agree. I'm gonna just say later what exactly, but I was interested because I kind of yeah, I was intrigued by what he said. So, and tell me, what's the what's your first impression? What was your impression?
What is your problem with this movie?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna say that it's a bad movie. It's not a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
Objectively, it's a good movie. But I think that maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Leave a comment and tell me how wrong I am if I'm wrong.
Okay.
That I just was not, and my wife as well, we were just not the target audience.
Mm-hmm.
Because this movie, I mean, I understand what they were trying to do. I mean, they were trying to challenge religion just as a concept of way of thinking,
Mm-hmm.
showing that any religion is just another version of the same fairy tale, and that spoiler here, that the true religion is just control.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you don't say. I mean, for me, that movie was just sort of like, yeah, thank you, I know. I mean, I've had this sort of arguments when I was a teenager very many times with a lot of different people, with peers, with grown ups, with strangers, with friends, family. And all of the arguments which are used by, I don't remember the name of the character, but by Hugh
Uh-huh.
Grant's guy. These are the arguments that I have used myself many times. The arguments which were, if there were any, I just don't remember, but by now. But all the arguments for the religion that were used by the girls, yeah, in this movie, I heard them
Mm-hmm.
many times.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just not the revelation in any way.
Okay.
Something else could impress me, right? Well, it didn't. The thriller aspect of the film didn't work on me. It was pretty weak for me.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the twist, it was not the twist. What else? What could impress me? Acting, yeah. This is maybe the only thing that I liked. Hugh Grant, even though the character is pretty simple for me, did a very good job. I really liked the girls, especially the one that was, I don't know. Okay, black haired one. I just don't
Oh,
remember the
okay.
names of the actresses. Unfortunately, I really liked her. I mean, I believed her, a lot.
Did you feel that she was kind of the main one in the beginning, and we the audience kind of liked her in the beginning? I mean, I was prone to like her more. She was more believable. Yeah, I agree. But then the second one opened so beautifully after, like, she was given, stage to act, and she like developed beautifully her character. That was one of the things I really liked. Like, you see those two girls and you really like the first one, the one you're talking about, and then the second one opens so beautifully. We aren't expecting that, right?
You don't, especially with the fair hair one, because there were no premise for her to actually change. It was just
Right.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like when it happens. People don't change this way, really, in real life. Even in such situations when you are trapped with some psycho and you don't know what to expect from this person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe it happens, but not very often. People are usually, they don't behave this way. So if this was the one of the twists, at least, I didn't believe that. Again,
Mm-hmm.
people don't
I
change
think
that.
so.
I
Mm-hmm.
maybe expected sort of, yeah, she was this sort of like a gray mouse in the beginning, super
Mm-hmm.
cautious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when they got to, to this house, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I expected that she would gain some bravery after certain events. Yeah, just not to give away too many spoilers there.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't just become more brave. She also sort of changed her mind, the opinion that she had in the beginning, and I did not believe that. I think the circumstances were not that crazy for a person, sincerely at least, yeah, like change the opinion. Also, talking about the one that I liked, they did a very cool thing there, killing her, and then killed that moment with showing her safe and sound, more or less. And after this, we don't know if she actually died, or, still had a chance to survive. I didn't like that, you know.
I didn't really get it. Can you explain more?
If you remember, so when this guy, this dude, wanted to demonstrate some wonders, and he cut the black-haired throat,
Yes,
and she
okay.
just bleeds and dies.
Right.
And then he wanted to demonstrate that, like, yeah, she's gonna live. I'm gonna do something. I don't remember what it was, but like, I'm gonna do something, and she's gonna be fine. But then she's not. And we as an audience, like, okay, she's dead. I really like that, because until then, this girl, she was sort of like a leading. She was driving the story. She was the main character. Yeah, she mostly spoke with the guy, and she was this very strong character, and a strong girl, yeah, with strong opinions, opposing the guy all the time. And then she dies. That was a cool thing, because it doesn't happen very often in the movies, when some characters who creators know that people gonna empathize with, or
Yeah, and who are super strong. They're not supposed to die somewhere in the
yeah,
middle.
yeah, like
Right.
she's
Yeah.
this kind of a
That's
like
the nice thing they did.
yeah. But then again, I'm not sure. There is a very good word for this, but they kind of, took away the sense, all of the sense from this move when closer to the end of the movie, when she's actually the one. Like, she somehow, I don't know, from bleeding her through her one of the most important blood vessel in the
Yeah.
body, like, a couple of hours may have, an hour maybe, yeah, may have passed by that time, and she just stands up, and did she do like a final sort of a strike attack on the guy? Yeah, she was the one who killed this old psycho. And I was like, how? And like, after this, okay, like, I would understand if she does that and then she dies, It's okay for a movie. They do these things. It's all right. Like a trope, whatever.
Okay.
Like I don't know, an ace in a sleeve kind of thing. But then after this, we don't really understand, like, I mean, she's gonna survive. That's just unrealistic. And this movie is all about, like, being realistic.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't also really get if you have like negative emotions about it, or it's just something that the movie didn't impress you very much, and you're like, you don't have nor positive nor negative. Neither
Something like
positive
that.
nor
I'm like neutral. Objectively, it's a good movie.
neutral.
I recommend this movie to people. It's a good story. But again, since the main point was sort of challenged the religious way of thinking, and etc. I'm not religious, so there was nothing new for me. Absolutely. I mean, I think at some point during the movie, I was thinking, what would I do if I was there, like, in that house?
That's
with the dude?
definitely a question that comes up. Definitely.
I would be like, that would be a very short movie. I mean, like, because the second he starts, I was like, you're right. Yeah, I know. So,
Okay.
pie, like, maybe, I don't know, tea. Let's talk. I agree. Yeah, it's just I'm not the target audience. I was not impressed because it's me, not because it's a bad movie.
Okay, okay, I see. Well, I kind of agree that if you didn't have any experience, if you never really faced religion and it never really affected your life, impacted your life, then maybe it won't really move you, I guess. There are, let me just tell you about some things that I liked about the movie, yeah?
Sure.
And see maybe if you agree with these points, because not all of them are like about the main idea of the movie. It's just some of the twists, some of the things they did, something I liked. First of all, Hugh Grant, of course, and how you look at him and how you absolutely believe him and you want to like believe that he's a good guy and he's gonna bring out that pie and call his wife and everything, yeah? And even I love the moment when he's like, do you really believe that there's my wife like behind the door and there's a pie? And you're like, oh no, of course not. It's already obvious that he's an absolute crazy maniac. But then you're like, wait. And then what they actually do is that there is a wife and there is a pie. This is so crazy. Like, this is blowing your mind at some point. What else? I think it's absolutely amazing that both doors, the one with belief and what was disbelief, yeah?
It was like faith, maybe. Yeah, I don't. I
Yeah,
don't remember at this point.
both,
But yeah.
yeah, both doors lead to one place. I think it's amazing. Like either you believe or you don't believe. You end up in one. So anyway, that's amazing. What I already mentioned about the other character, not the main one, developing beautifully and in an interesting way. And then I really love the moment when she's it's most almost in the very end where she's mentioning some research done on praying and how praying doesn't work, remember?
Sure.
And first of all, that like it's she who is saying that, yeah, a religious person tells you about research been done that praying doesn't work. And I loved how they quoted real research, yeah, on that. Otherwise, what I didn't like is I was expecting a thriller, and this one is pretty much a horror for me. Like, I was not prepared for that. I don't really watch horrors. It was closer to horror than to thriller, I felt. So, I don't know.
Did
What
the movie
else?
thrill you?
Yeah, but it also horrified me. I loved the association, like the examples of games and music. I think that's nice. I would love to fact check the ideas with like gods being born on the 25th of December. So I don't know if there are really how many
I don't
like.
think that they would throw just
Mhm,
like. I mean, yeah, maybe you could.
mhm, mhm.
Probably there are some even official research, some kind
Yeah,
of
I think maybe.
cultural or
Mhm,
theological researches
mhm, mhm.
on this. But that's pretty much it. And it makes sense. Like, you have one of the first cultures creating this religion, yeah, and when this culture breeds like other cultures, yeah, when they're geographically close to each other, it just makes sense. I mean, yeah, like we have this Middle East sort of Egypt situation,
Mhm.
growing slowly into the European cultures and this sort of stuff, and then if you look at all of the like variety of the biggest how to say, okay, let's just say philosophies, yeah, religions, you see that, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, again, if we have some people who know this stuff, but this is my take on this, that it's like we have Asia, we have Native Americans, we have Australia, and we have like North Europe sort of a thing, and these are different things. Yeah. But then geographically, they sort of mixture with each other. Yeah, like in some religions, Middle East meets, I don't know, European cultures, European religions, different Asian religions sort of meet each other there. Yeah. Um, at some point, like Eastern Europe meets Northern Europe. Yeah, like for example, when Christianity got to like much later Viking culture. There is even a good movie about this times. It's called, I don't remember what it's called, but you can look for some Scandinavian movie with just Mads Mikkelsen.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, just people just stole from. I mean, it's not like even stealing. I think it's just like, okay, so uh, we've been living in this sort of cultural context, but then some people decided to like migrate. Of course, they took these ideas to different contexts, like maybe meeting different people and then mixing their ideas with uh, this, I don't know, new people's ideas, or maybe even fighting over their own ideas, and still it ends up with mixing these ideas. But if you track back, yeah, I mean, it's not a very big number of different sources, like original, you know, ideas. So it's like everything with what he says in the movie, that's pretty much true. That main like highlights, yeah, like key moments of different things, and seemingly different religions are pretty much the same. Origins of the god, prophets. There is sort of a punishment for everyone, or for this specific prophet sacrificing himself or itself or herself. You know, themselves for the benefit of the others. You know, same thing almost everywhere. Even this Buddhism has, like, it's in the movie that even Buddhism has some similar aspects with Christianity. So, so yeah, I think only like paganism is very different from, which was the inspiration for the rest of the things. Pretty much just like certain aspects, considering the richness of the usually the richness of the pagans mythos. Yeah. So yeah, that again, that's why it was just like, yeah, I know. I read about it, talked about it, discussed it. It's not new for me. Maybe it was I didn't research on that question, because we agreed to do this raw. But maybe this movie could have been something like personal for the directors. I believe there are two guys. Maybe they went through some sort of traumatic experience. We know how a lot of Americans have this experience of being in a religious cult, and then escaping, burning all the bridges with the families and friends, maybe, and
Yeah.
starting their life anew. And again, I don't know anything, but could be.
I think I really, really like that it's a thriller that has some idea in it. So its main idea is not about trying to scare someone just by blood and some manic figure or something like that.
True, but
I
it's
also
a trend now.
Yeah, which is yeah, why not then? um, as for having some experience with religion, yeah, I guess this could have been the case for the directors, and I think for those people who had similar experience or had some experience of being controlled by some religious ideas. You'll get these people might be interested in watching this or might be interested in thinking about this. Some people, I guess, don't even realize what has happened, or maybe just years later, or they never realize, or they don't maybe just feel how important this impact was. I don't know. For example, for me, in my first marriage with my ex-husband, we were pretty much made to get married because our parents were religious, and they were like, you can't be girlfriend and boyfriend, just like that without being married. And this was basically the reason we got married. If there was no such ideas, we wouldn't get married, and we wouldn't get a lot of trauma by getting divorced, by arguing, by failing attempt at adult life and everything. I mean, you can't talk about it seriously when you're 21. You can't make such a decision yet, I think. That's why trying to influence your basically child by religion in this way, such a big mistake. And then you still fail, but you also have this excuse, well, then, I don't know, still you can't do this because, like, I don't know, whatever. So I think it's great to talk about it. It's great someone can. I mean, there are things you can't criticize, but looks like you can make a movie about criticizing religion and talking openly about it, which is nice, I guess.
It is, and maybe this is what created this sort of noise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in a good way, around this movie. That after every Instagram reel, for example, I saw a lot of commentaries saying like, "Yeah, like this is a great movie."
Yeah.
And I understand that people just maybe got impressed by the fact that there is such a movie in the first place, made by, Hollywood, generally speaking, because you say, maybe it's not a surprise for anyone, but it's a pretty religious country.
Yeah.
I mean, the authority of the church there is pretty strong. I mean, there are communities, good cults, bad cults. Good, I mean that they're not like, terrorists or anything. Just sort of peaceful religious cults and communities, and it's a thing there. And I guess, they just don't. Wouldn't say that it's forbidden there. I'm not. Probably it's not. It wouldn't be. But still, people like maybe they're just like too respectful, overly respectful, and try not to criticize this sorts of ideas, I guess. And now they have this movie there. It's like, oh, like, wow, that's great, yeah. And people just, again, a lot of people just like, yeah, I agree with these ideas, blah blah blah, this sort of stuff. So I guess for a lot of people, it was the same experience as for me, in terms of that they didn't learn anything new there, but they just they were just happy that someone expressed that publicly, and through a pretty beautiful movie. Actually, what I wanted to it's a little bit of a detour here, but I wanted to say that the most favorite moment for me in the movie, it's a pretty certain shot. It's when the black-haired girl paid attention to the scented candle on the table.
Ah, yes.
And
nice
then she got some like ideas in her head, and then there was this moment when she, like, the candle was standing like back, so they couldn't see the label of the candle. So, and she sort of like turns this candle, and I really like the cinematography of the shot. It's pretty simple, but for this moment, specifically for the suspense of this moment, and for the context of this moment, it was very nice when like she's slowly turning, not, okay, so she's just turning this candle, and the camera moves the way that the label is not revealed to the audience
Mm-hmm.
again, until the moment when she sees
Yeah,
this label, and it's like, what is it, like blueberry pie, yeah? And that was very beautiful. That was like, this is maybe the
absolutely.
only actually thing when I said like, wow, that was cool. Even though at this point you understand what's happening. I think I realized that something was off just the moment he
Mm-hmm.
brought that candle.
This
And
is this is what I like about cinema. Like when you're watching something and you're like, yeah, that's why I'm watching it. Yeah, not reading about it, not listening to a podcast about it. That's why I'm watching it.
yeah,
Or for example, when you see that stick with nails in it, and you're like, that's gonna be used somewhere to kill someone. Like this Chekhov gun, yeah, on the wall that will fire in the end. So this is nice about cinema. There are some twists. There are some things you have to see, to listen, to feel how the camera works. Some facial expressions, music stuff, like points of view, perspectives, and stuff. Totally. And when you see that, you're like, yeah, that's cool. That's why I'm sitting here watching. Cool. Even if I don't like the topic or I'm not interested, sometimes it's just about the visual impression experience. Yeah. So absolutely.
true. That's why I hate like when they, like the movie starts and they start with a backstory of
Yeah.
some,
Mm.
with the voice from nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're not even sure who's talking. Or what's worse, it can be just a text on the screen and you have to read. I was like, am I in the library, like the reading room or anything? We're just gonna like give me the script at this point. I hate when they do this.
Yeah. Totally. My idea of a bad scene like that would be the other girl saying something like, "Look, it's a blueberry pie candle." Wow.
Sure.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff they do sometimes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chekhov's gone. I like this, of course, when they do this. It's just
Mm-hmm.
some, I think, and it's sort of a warning for everyone
Mm-hmm.
who's binging movies. At some
Mm-hmm.
point, you're gonna see them from a mile away, like
Okay.
because there is this thing that like it's sort of a rule that if you introduce something,
Yeah.
it's like it's gonna be used, at some point, and this rule is like so respected that sometimes they don't even try to play with it. I didn't watch that movie, but I watched a lot about that movie. I'm talking about Knives Out, the first part.
I haven't watched.
And in that movie, this is sort of a, maybe the movie generally is like okay, but how the way they use this tool, Chekhov's
Mm-hmm.
gun, is
Mm-hmm.
just crazy. When they using that to manipulate audience into thinking
Mm-hmm.
certain stuff,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're like, okay, she's got a like a blood spot on her knicker and white knicker, and we see that the detective noticed that, and like blah blah blah, so she's bust, this kind of stuff. But then it turns into a different way, and or when there's something about a tennis ball. I mean, if some of you watched this movie recently, you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. That there is something like about a tennis ball, which is like on the screen all the time, but and you're like, okay, so it's another Chekhov's gun in the movie, but until the last moment, you don't even understand what for. I mean, so about that, yeah, that's just the best thing. And I like when I'm tricked, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when I see that there's this like a, I don't know, like a piece of wood with nails, like some rusted nails out. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
but okay, you put it there, use it, but use it in a like a unexpected way, not in a obvious one that this nail's gonna be stuck in someone's head at some point. Uh, maybe it's like, okay, so again, another detour. There's this game. It's a video game. It's a super short one. Why? It's a horror game. I don't remember the name of it though. It starts with you being in it looks like a hotel hall, empty,
Mm-hmm.
eerie, some ambient eerie music there. And like this hole ends up with like a dead end with the door. Very quickly after you launch the game, this door opens and you see that there's something like Tamara from The Ring, or some scary stuff. And very quickly it starts running towards you with, of course, some suspenseful music.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure what you are supposed to do because it's a narrow hole. It's not that you can go anywhere there. So you're just expecting some, crazy stuff starting going. But like in a couple of seconds, this thing just trips over something, falls down, and the game is over.
Okay.
I like when something like this happens in a movie,
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
they sort of tease you with something. You as a person who've like got certain experience of watching the movies, you expect one thing because this is usually what they do, but then they do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like, yeah, you're tricked, but you're impressed.
Okay. Okay.
Like, because you are sitting there as like, I'm a clever person, what can they do to trick me? Nothing, but then they do something. And,
No, that's for advanced watchers still. Yeah, I think that's next
maybe.
level.
Again, depends on like just how many movies you have watched and
Yeah.
regularly watch.
Okay, what is our general conclusion? Do you have to watch it? Do you recommend watching it? Do you think it's a waste of time?
I'm gonna do a new thing. I'm just gonna do a rating.
Okay.
Maybe it will stick.
Okay.
I will give it 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. It has beautiful cinematography there. Not
Mm-hmm.
just that candle scene.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
some other stuff maybe that I don't remember, but I was definitely impressed by that. Acting,
Mm-hmm.
cast is very nice. I like when there are new faces for me. Personally, when there are new faces in the movie and they impress me,
Mm-hmm.
like these two girls, for example. I liked some. I wanna name them broken promises. Like this scene when the guy who was looking for them, like their, I don't know,
Yeah.
leader,
Mm-hmm.
tutor,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
whatever. And when he visited this house for the first time, and like this conversation from the detective point of view doesn't end up with anything, yeah, and then he's like, that is gonna be a crime if I don't ask you the following question, and then you're
Yes.
like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, like some detective shit is gonna hit the fan.
Yeah.
But then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a relief lad? I like that moment. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
First, I was sort of angry. I was like, okay, so you started this line of the story which didn't end up with anything, but then I changed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Drastically. Like that
Mm-hmm.
was cool actually,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you tricked us again. And yeah, again, like if you have something personal with this topic of religion and thing, yeah, like it could be useful, therapeutic
Mm-hmm.
for you in a way.
Okay. I'd say 8 out of 10. And I took some points off because I don't like these horror moments. Yeah, for me, I'd go perfectly without them. Like cutting off fingers, like taking out implants, stuff like that. Bloody stuff. Otherwise, idea, cinematic, the acting, music, everything is nice. Yeah, definitely 8 out of 10 is, yeah. Okay, let's move on to the second movie we're going to discuss today. Another one that did not impress you and did impress me.
Okay.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. Yeah, I'm a grumpy fellow today.
Yeah, okay. Tell me, what was your impression?
So we're gonna start with the dark side of this
Yeah,
pod.
yeah, it's going to be a dark one.
How bad can I go? I mean,
As bad as you want, I think, yeah.
it's just a piece of shit. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know. Like, I guess disclaimer number 3. It's my personal opinion. I'm not trying to impose anything on anyone, and I'm not trying to offend anyone. I mean, I respect everyone's opinions. Mine one is that it was the. It's gonna sound dramatic. I have a huge experience of watching movies. Sorry. This is the most disappointing experience in my life.
Seriously? What
And
were you...
I've seen shit. I mean, I've seen movies which are just usually categorized as trash movies, right? Like something like Human Centipede, right?
Yeah,
I would watch a Human Centipede 10 more times than watching Anora for 5 more minutes.
What were you expecting? Tell me, why did...
I was expecting... I don't watch a lot of love stories. I don't like this topic generally. It's because this topic is so subjective, you know, like everyone's experience, love experience, whatever that is. I mean, romantic relationships, love to friends, love to family, anything. It's so individual that most of the time, if I watch some like love story, or love story was one of the main aspects of the movie, I usually don't get impressed by this feeling. So whatever. I do love some movies with like this sort of stuff, but there may be, I don't know, 5 of them. I mean, generally speaking. And I expected some sort of, I don't know, at least some character development when a person maybe, like falls in love with the wrong person, but then they realize something and change slowly, just like people do in real life, and maybe even something like, oh, now, like at this point, she realized that the true happiness was under her nose, you know, something like this. But this movie turned out to be just a video clip from Pornhub, I'm sorry. And so yeah, for me, like the movie was like, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna break the math of percentages here, but it's just my feelings that it was 30% of porn, 30% of overextended part when Anora and the co were looking for, I don't even remember his name anymore. This oligarch's
Vanya
son.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, Vanya.
Okay.
And then, what is it, like 30, 40 left, yeah? So 20% of this just, again, overextended part of their divorce. And then the rest is just meaningless, empty dialogue between Anora and 20% of just overextended, empty, meaningless, almost silent part when we follow like what happened after the divorce between Yura, Borisov, Igor, Igor and Anora, and I just did like, if something's there, please tell me. But
Okay.
I was just like, the movie ended and I was like, what planet are you from, people? It's just it's very hectic. It's full of scenes which do not drive the plot, full of scenes which do not pretty much, what's the word, provide us with anything. They do not give anything to you. Uh, just party, search campaign, divorce, and uh, incomprehensible ending.
Okay, let me maybe just tell the things that I liked about the movie and see if I. Anyway, I'm not trying to make you agree with me, it's just a discussion.
If you change my mind about
See if I
something,
can
that's
change
gonna
your
be
mind.
great. Yeah, I challenge
Okay.
you. Come on.
Let me just try to tell them in the order that I feel like from the least important to the most. But okay, first of all, I liked how he portrayed New York. What we see a lot when we watch movies where the setting is in New York, we see Central Park and beautiful skyscrapers and these shops and stuff. We don't see much of Brooklyn or Brighton Beach, places like that, where you have this kind of vibe. And he chose to the director chose to portray this part, and that was very accurate. I like that. You really get the feeling that you are there. And if you've never been to New York, you'd like to see this part of it as well. Like, of course, we all have this amazing vision of perfect, beautiful city, but like there's this part as well. I'm not a fan of road movies, but this movie has some features of it which are nice, and these are some things I really enjoy, like this adventure. I think it's kind of cool. I liked that they finally started inviting Russian actors. I mean, how many beautiful Hollywood movies there are with I don't know what's happening like in the part where you have someone who's like Russian, yeah, like from Russia or something. It's just crazy. You get just like consonants from the Cyrillic alphabet in someone's passport, or you have a person who's like not speaking natively Russian, but will be speaking with a horrible accent, and you're like, what? I mean, I always ask myself, what's the problem of inviting some expert on Russia, or just, commenting or helping them out to make it real? For me, this was always an issue. And then here they actually invited Russian actors to make this, which is, I think, cool. I think we could have more of that, right? On the other hand, my question is, what were they trying to show? Like, are they? Was he trying to say that Russians are basically these oligarchs not really speaking good English, and basically, I mean, my main problem was with Vanya's mom, who arrived in a private jet. She's wearing the latest like fashion brands collection, whatever, and her English is like an abomination. And you're like, woman, you have all the money in the world, go to a good school and learn the fucking language. It's like, what were they trying to say? I didn't get this point. This I don't agree with. And I even discussed with one of my friends. We were like, where are the movies about middle-class Russians who have learned English to C1? Polite Russians who are traveling with a very good level of English or something. Yeah. What else? And yeah, I like this guy, Yura, yeah, who's playing. He's got a second. What's the word? He's not the main role, but I think what he did is good. Oh,
Supporting role.
supporting role. Another thing, the last, I guess, last but not least.
Okay.
When I was watching it, I was expecting something else. Like, there was definitely created some vibe of there's gonna be a tragedy in the end, or this guy will rape her, or she'll get killed, or something. Like, I was expecting something else, and I was like worried that it's gonna be a sad ending or a tragic one.
For Annie.
Yes.
That she's gonna be assaulted by Igor.
Maybe that she's gonna be assaulted or killed or something. Like, I had this feeling that something bad will happen, and because I was moved and because I was empathizing so much, maybe that was one of the reasons I liked it. I was like, I was involved, I was immersed emotionally. I was somewhere with them. So yeah, your comments.
Interesting. Well, I did not have this feeling because this is what I expected. Maybe I got that from some description or something, that there's supposed to be some spark between Annie and Igor.
Yeah.
And this is why I was like, he's not gonna do anything bad with him. And
Okay.
when she started this tantrum, like in the house, I was like, Jesus, calm down, woman. Like,
Yeah, I didn't
know,
get that.
and like all these things, like, yeah, you've got this like rapey eyes, and this sort of stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? And well, maybe he was supposed to have rapey eyes, but just Yura doesn't have this like skill, to show that. I don't know. We will never know this part. What I wanted to say, I don't remember to what already, but that I expected this maybe longer, deeper part about how they get attached to each other. Like, he's a nobody in the beginning, and then he becomes something for her, but it's literally just last a minute and a half of the movie only. Like, we have this hint that maybe there is some future for them.
Yeah.
But okay, I get that. I can accept that. But what did he really do? Nothing. Okay, so he tried to apologize a couple of times. He stood up for her in this, I believe it's called a registry office or something, where they annulled the marriage, or just divorced, I guess, yeah. And he was like, I guess Vanya should apologize.
Okay.
Without any success with that. They just left. Vanya didn't apologize because he's a pussy. And
No
then,
doubt.
they showed that he actually at some point managed to, just sneakily take the wedding ring, which costs a lot of money, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's it. The rest of the movie, he's just using bad English, has very cringy laughs, and doesn't do anything with his face. He's just... Some people are like, oh, look at him, how he acts with his eyes.
Okay.
No, he doesn't. He just doesn't. You know what I'm scared of? There's going to be a Russian movie with Yura portraying Pushkin.
Interesting.
This movie is doomed. I mean, already.
I don't know.
When I was trashing this movie, I was mostly referring to story. I'm gonna trash some other stuff. Again, acting. Yeah, maybe this. I don't remember Mikey something. I don't remember her name. Annie. She's good. I don't remember her from anything else. Probably I watched something maybe because she's been acting since she was a kid. That's for sure. And I remember her from somewhere when she was a kid. She's good. Surprisingly, from the acting point of view, I don't remember his name, but this like older Armenian guy who was working for this oligarchs. I believed him.
Yeah, the guys from Armenia are super cool as well. Like, I forgot to mention them.
Well, the other one with the broken nose, he's not super important there, but like his boss, this guy, he was just I liked him. He's like,
Yeah,
I know such people. Like, I've seen them.
very believable, realistic
Very
stuff.
believable.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
believable.
yeah.
I think, you know what I'm going to say? Watch this movie just for him, actually. People. Like, I felt him, like, he's
Yeah.
like, I never been in such a situation. I never worked for, like, super important rich people. I never failed anyone on such a scale, right? I never failed that big, in my life. But I so felt him, like, when he was using everything just he could to just solve the problem
Yeah.
peacefully. Doesn't mean that he's peaceful all the time though, yeah. Like, and this scene when he was when there were, like, I believe it was some fast food joint, and he was like walking around, like, showing the Vanis photos to everyone, and at some point there was this sort of argument with, like, younger people.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, yeah, I understand you. Not exactly supporting him at that point, but I was like, yeah, he was great. And another thing is that I very liked Serebryakov. Yeah, I believe his name is the Vanya's father. He doesn't do much there. It's like just a couple of phrases there. But I loved him after this, again, scene in the registry office when
he's
he
laughing.
laughed.
Yeah, yeah.
When he's
I
laughing,
liked it.
when
Yeah.
she says that, like, about Vanya, like, well, he hates you so much that he's, like, on purpose married a hooker.
Yeah.
And he just, like, typical dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just from that, you can understand that the relationships between dad and mom are not good. Just because he's just laughing because his wife was sort of,
Offended.
what is it, burned? Yeah. No, what is it? What is it called when comedians roast? Like, she got roasted.
Roasted. Okay.
So yeah, that was funny. But yeah, I mean, too long, not too much inside. 2 out of 10.
I have to
That's
say,
my verdict.
what? I have to say
I've
that the amount of hype kind of rose some expectations for people who haven't watched and then later watched and were disappointed. So I don't support that kind of stuff. Without so much hype, yeah, it's a watchable movie. Why not? I'd say I'm not gonna watch it again, and I'm not gonna, what I do sometimes. If I learn that someone who wants to watch a movie together with me hasn't watched something, and I can rewatch something, yeah, just so this person watches it. I wouldn't do that with this one. Heretic maybe, but not with this one, not with Anora. Yeah, that's how I kinda. Yeah, I watched it once. I have some opinion. I liked it. I liked some things. I was moved. 5 out of 10. Yeah, 6 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Yeah, I mean.
okay.
But yeah, now it's all hyped. You're bound to have some, I think, disappointments. That's the problem. I don't support that kind of stuff. Otherwise, I think that was quite interesting.
Well, experience, even with watching not good movies, experience is still experience.
Totally.
And it just maybe it can help you understand maybe what you like, what you don't like, what you should avoid.
Yeah.
Choosing a movie, because there are so many of them right now. You have to be picky.
Yeah.
We've discussed that many times before, that it's become very difficult to find a movie to watch even alone. Not even talking about when you are with your beloved one or friends or something. It's very difficult. And this variety created also a variety of tastes. You know, like it's very difficult to find another person who's like, yeah, I like and dislike exactly the same things as you do. Yeah, it's just impossible. There are gonna be differences. Maybe just don't pay for this movie, please. I don't know. I didn't, and I'm happy about it that I didn't. Again, I'm not imposing anything illegal.
Okay. Yeah, I was worried you are.
There are ways, there are ways. I mean, there are ways.
Okay.
Everybody knows about them. Yeah. About hype, what I wanted to say that I'm not against it actually when hype is created by people, because I think most of the time you can believe that people are not stupid, and if they if masses actually like something, it's worth paying attention to, at least trying, and trying to understand, like, if you match with the masses, there's nothing wrong with having the same taste as most of the people. It's just, I know that it's sometimes sort of like, your favorite movie is Transformers, really?
Okay.
And what I don't like, it's when this, like, expectations are created by marketing. Maybe it's not even about the quality of the picture, because usually, of course, like, every marketing gonna portray, paint the movie in all the best colors. But when they actually misdirect you, for example, what happened with the latest, I'm just not sure if it's the only one or not, but the latest Marilyn Monroe biopic, when the marketing was like, it's just another Marilyn Monroe biopic. Do you like biopics? Do you like Marilyn Monroe? Go to show that movie. And then I start watching that movie, and I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm talking about, like, the misdirection, the marketing misdirection. That emotionally, it's a very difficult movie. You just, for the whole length of the movie, you just sort of, it's difficult. I mean, they show all the struggles that poor woman had in her life, and it's just, I was like, rewinding that all the time, and pretty much I consider I even watched it in the first place. So, but again, yeah, well, when people create this hype, yeah, why not? Oscar to Euro, though?
Yeah.
What for? I mean, I wouldn't understand if, for example, it was political. But I mean, everybody can understand that it's not. Like, it's actually very illogical considering the political situation. And so, what for? I don't understand. But again, Emilia Perez is nominated, so
Okay, yeah. Let's
that's
call
all
it a
that
day.
you should know about Oscars
Yeah.
this year. So, to your own risk, don't blame us for anything we've just said to you. Heretic, Anora, good luck
Yeah. Thank you.
if you decide to watch. Yeah, leave a comment, whatever you think about the movies. Maybe we didn't understand something. Maybe
Totally.
you realized something after listening to us.
Yeah. Leave a comment if you have any ideas or questions. That would be interesting. Okay. Great.
Till the next time.
Till next time.